what's up?
Hey, Angelo, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good, very good.
Now, which one's Nick? Which one's Jimmy?
I'm Jimmy.
You're Jimmy, right?
Just remember, the
Jimmy,
deep voice and the bald guy.
The bald guy, right? What city are you guys in right now?
Montreal.
You're in Montreal, okay, my hometown.
Go Habs, go.
Okay, Habs. I didn't wear my Habs thing. You should have it in the background.
There you go.
That's great. That's great, man.
You're smoking a nice stogie. Bravo.
Yeah, look, it's 9 o'clock in the morning here, so I went to bed this morning at 6.
Okay.
Because I haven't been going to bed at any given time. So I like that thing you guys put up. You put the clock timer, so I timed it perfectly to do it like that, you know.
There you go. How many stogies? Because you have a couple of lives per day with the guy from Ontario. What's his name?
Yeah, Frank Spadone.
Frank, yeah. And you smoke what, 2-3 cigars a day?
Usually that's the first one of the day. But because I did this one with you guys today, I got a small one, Bolivar.
Bravo.
And I'm debating. I got my cafe right here. Got the coffee right here.
There you go.
And I got this one here, the Bolivar.
Good.
It's already 87 degrees in Los Angeles.
Bravo.
So it's fucking hot here already. This morning we haven't been getting the weather. But what's the weather like in Montreal? Because I'm going to call my mom after. She's in Laval.
I didn't step out, but I think it's a little chilly, like 5 degrees. For anybody that stepped out, just put the comment. I think it's 5 degrees, yeah. 5
degrees. Okay. So that's about 37, 40. Like I used to be in Celsius. And now that I've been living here, everything's Fahrenheit, imperial.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me sometimes to try to know what and which country, because Canada went metric, and then what happened was America says we're going to do it, and then they said nah, screw it, we're not going to do it now. So that's what happened there. So
how many stogies per day do you smoke?
Now, between 2 and 5.
2 and 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, what am I doing? No, Jimmy, hold on. What am I doing now?
Nothing.
Let me ask you, how many times a day are we eating? I like when people tell me, well, what are you doing now? Nothing. I'm eating and talking about what I'm going to eat in the middle of my lasagna. So we've become pathetic human beings. We've become pathetic. We've become pathetic, man. I mean, everybody's like, what are we doing? Nothing. We're doing nothing. All we're doing is eating
right here
and shitting. Quarantine. Exactly. Quarantined. Yeah.
There you go. So what brings you to LA?
I've been living here for 14 years.
Okay.
Hollywood. Movies. Stand up. I mean, I was born in Park X from Montreal. Park X.
Yeah, the hood.
And I was from the hood, man. But then years ago, we had to leave. I got tortured. We moved to Ottawa when I was littler. And then eventually I ended up in Toronto. And eventually I ended up in London, England for 2 years. And then I was working on a sitcom. So I ended up coming to Los Angeles. I got scouted by Paramount and CBS. And then I met my wife here, and then that's it, once you meet the Gineka, it's over.
Yeah, Armenian, right?
Armenian. My wife's Armenian, yeah.
There's a lot of Armenians.
My first wife was Greek, and the second one was Argentinian. This the Itriti, and that's it. I'm not getting married again. I want to get married, that's it, I'm done. I'm not doing this again.
There you go. We're at Glendale. There's a lot of Armenians in Glendale, right?
There's a lot there. I mean, she's from Hollywood, so she actually grew up in Hollywood, but a lot of her relatives are in Glendale. So you're gonna find some of them are in Glendale, and there's a lot. The Armenians here are 500,000 in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. So double Toronto Greeks. Because Greeks,
the quarter million, that's about right. But double Toronto Greeks, and then there's a lot of them in Montreal too. Actually, I remember growing up.
Yeah, but half of Toronto.
Half of Toronto, yeah.
Also, half the population too, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. I mean, LA County's what, 18 million people? It's half the population of Canada.
Hmm.
So this is just LA. I'm not talking about the rest of the places, right, Jimmy? So it's crazy.
There you go. So tell us your story, Angelo. You started off, correct me if I'm wrong, you were a travel agent, and then
Yeah,
you became a comedian. How did that work?
divorce. I was always a comic. I started in school. And then what happened was I later on I wasn't doing comedy full time. I was living in Ottawa and I was working at Yuck Yucks. And then I was doing it, not doing it.
Well,
And then
I'm here. I'm here.
there you are. And then what happened was after my divorce, pretty much lost everything. And I thought, hey, I know it's a great idea. So I moved to Toronto. I started working in film and television again, and I started doing stand-up comedy. And
Okay.
so that's why when they say when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And that's what I did. I started went back at it, and then slowly started doing festivals. And then later on, I caught the eye of Just for Laughs. I was doing Just for Laughs. Now I'm touring, all over the world. There isn't anywhere I haven't gone. I've toured with my best friend Russell Peters. I toured with Vince Vaughn. I toured with Tom Jones. I opened for that bitch Roseanne Barr. There's all kinds of people. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. And I was just supposed to leave in 4 days for Australia for a sold out tour. I had a sold out tour in Australia.
When? A couple of weeks ago, you're saying?
No, I was supposed to leave in 4 days.
Okay.
In 4 days, and the whole world got canceled. So I was going to Australia. Then I was coming to Canada. I was just in Montreal. We did a show in February with Mr. Johnny, who did this thing. They were helping the Messinian kids, raising funds for kids to go to Greece for dance school. We did that. And then I was supposed to be Kitchener, Toronto. Then I was going in the fall. I was supposed to go to Greece in June for shows. And then go back to Europe, like Dubai, Ireland, England, Switzerland, Cyprus. It's you go to different places. But now,
Finished.
we're done for now, unless somebody knows something I don't know. Even I heard in Montreal, F1 got canceled.
Yeah.
Jazz festivals canceled.
I think postponed. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, sorry, that's the word they're using. Postponed.
Yeah.
And we're postponed, and now. If I'm not mistaken, Just for Laughs got postponed.
I think that one's canceled, I think.
Yeah, I think till October, they said.
So there you go.
October, November. But it's not the same, right? 'Cause it's always July.
Of course, yeah. And different season too. Different.
Right. Different times.
That's right. And I remember, I think it was 13, 14 years ago, I saw your video. All Greek to me, dude. I peed my pants multiple times.
That was done in Montreal.
That was in Montreal.
Yeah, it's All Greek to me. Came out a few years ago. That went #1 download in Australia at one point. There was that many Greeks downloading it. That's where I built the fan base. Man. That was all done. It was a club on. It was on René Lévesque. The Nouvelle Hotel had a club called the Comedy Zone.
Okay.
But 20 years ago. And we recorded it at that club, at the Comedy Zone. And that's where that CD came out. People still, you know what? It was almost 20 years ago when I made that. And people still come up to me quoting jokes from that CD. They still listen to it.
And your niche jokes are versus your origins, the Greek.
Right. Yeah, a lot of them. But now it's like, now it's still a big part of my act. But, things have moved on. So it's not, because I never started off doing Greek jokes. I started off doing jokes. The Greek stuff came after. How it happened. I want to say about 1999, 98, 99. I went to Calgary. and my kubati are in a band called Poseidon from Ottawa. I don't know if you heard of them. A Greek band.
Sounds
Really
familiar.
funny. Yeah, Christo, Nico, and Doni, and they're doing a gig for the Greek community in Calgary. And what happened was they blew a fuse in the amp for the bouzouki player.
Okay.
I was just there, and there's 500 Greeks in the kinotita. They're in the banquet hall. So Nico, who's now my kubato, he baptized my daughter, said, Ange, we got about 20, 25 minutes. Can you go do some comedy? So I'm like, okay. But what happened was I realized I had a completely Greek audience. So I just, off the top of my head, not planned, started talking about Greeks. Greeks were like this, Greeks were like that. And I just look at this, and I just started going on because, Greeks are Greeks everywhere. Doesn't matter what country you're from. If your parents are from Greece, chances are you've eaten a kutala, padofla, or something in the kefali, right? I don't care where you're from. And I met them everywhere. It's the same everywhere. And then I did 20, 25-minute show. And when it ended, I got a standing ovation from the crowd. And my Cubano Nico came up to me and says, I think you caught something here. And I never thought of it. Like, I knew I would get Greeks coming to the show, and I would talk a little bit about being Greek, but more to a Xeno audience. But in this instance, what happened was I realized I hit a nerve. Like, on us, I could talk about things that we would understand that the Xeni necessarily wouldn't get. And that's how that came about. And then, of course, word got out, and then I started to do a couple of shows like this in Toronto and in Montreal, because that's really the origins of this. And that's why that CD the first time was done in Montreal, because it had to be done there. It's the only place my hometown is the only place you could really do it.
No, what a show, honestly. I think, that was
Thanks.
15 years ago, right? No, you said 20 years ago?
20 years ago.
20 years ago, yeah.
15 years ago feels like 5 weeks ago because we've been sitting around. But it was 20 years ago. And we did it. It was between Christmas and New Year's at the Nouvelle Hotel. And how I know, I was working, doing shows that week. I did shows in Saskatoon, or Saskata, if you've ever been there. Saskatoon and Saskata. And Regina, and I wrote my set list at the airport, and I flew, I think it was Regina to Montreal. I went to my mom's, had a nap, I woke up, we went to the club, and we knocked off the show. It was one take. We did a couple of shows, but that's the one we did. Mm-hmm. We went in, and that's how we did it.
Yeah, I was in Winnipeg for a convention a few years ago, and I was searching for cigars, and there was
Thomas Hines.
There you go. There was a picture of you. He was saying great things. You go there often or something, or used to?
When I was there, I used to go to Winnipeg to, there's a great club there called Rumors Comedy Club. And I was just there, I want to say last year. I was there last year. I was there last year. It's a great club. And then I also filmed a movie there once, Christmas Rush, with Eric Roberts. Okay. So Mel, the original Thomas Hines was a friend of mine. He's passed on. He had a shop in Toronto, and that's his brother Mel, and it's at the Delta Hotel. It's right there when you're in Winnipeg. And correct.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's still there. I haven't
next to the RBC Convention Center.
That's right. I haven't. It's right there, right across the street. And, really nice people. But, the only places you can smoke a stogie now is there once a week, or Montreal. It's Stogies or Ribbon Reef or Alexandra's or Casa de Havana. Because, Ottawa and stuff, they're going to bring in the riot police and kill you.
Yeah.
They're going to kill you. They're not going to. Oh, LA,
same rules.
No, you can smoke. There's a lot of places to smoke here. Canada's become the neo-Nazi communist regime. Oh, you can smoke Zura anywhere you want, but don't pull a cigar out. We're going to put you in jail. So that's bullshit. I think it's just bullshit,
Now, what do you think about this COVID-19? Let's talk about that.
It's here.
It's here. But,
I know a lot of people. Here's the deal. And I think people are talking about it like a conspiracy.
Yeah.
America would not shut down its economy. Because I have a cousin in Toronto who's a Malacca, and he goes to me, you Americans created this to create the Illuminati Malakias. I said, okay.
The Q.
Let's say I buy your argument. Show me the result where it benefits America. Because right now, I'm not benefiting from it. They've shut everything down. They've canceled everything. The whole world, Italy, Greece, Iran, China. So even the Chinese, I don't think, want to shut down their economy. But, now the theories, the conspiracists are going to come out and say, well, this was planned. So anybody listening who can tell me that this was planned, fine. Show me where we benefit from it, because I don't see the end result for it. Unless you have a different theory about it, go ahead.
I totally agree.
It's I got Greeks were big conspiracists because we invented, pretty much invented, and I agree. I'm not saying the thing isn't, things aren't fixed. I'm the first one to say that, Jimmy. But at the same time, now, even my brother, he's one of those preppers. He's got the AR-15s and the bikes. He's waiting for the aliens to show up, the bunker. And the thing is when people sit there and tell me that this is fixed by America, and I'm saying, yeah, America does a lot of stuff, but trust me, shutting down their economy isn't something they want to do here. One thing they love in America, it's money. And I'm thinking, I just don't see the benefit of it. But I'm sure you've been hearing it, the COVID-19 and this and that. It's something we can't see.
Of course. But California right now.
Hi, Elsie. Here's my friend Elsie from Ottawa. Hi, Elsie. How are you, honey? Nutty Greek from I got people from Ottawa joining up here. Hey, guys, we're just talking here. I'm looking at your comments. Who's hi, Anna. There's a great place in Ottawa called Nutty Greek.
Nutty Greek Bakery, and the two sisters run it with their family, and it's really good. So if you're ever in Ottawa, Jimmy, you got to go there. Yeah, we're not far away.
Downtown Ottawa. You're not far. I love Montrealers. Montrealers go, where are you going, man? Ottawa. It's not. It's an hour and a half.
An hour and a half, yeah.
But, you talk to Montrealers, Ottawa's great. If you ever want to get out, I love you too, else. Miss you.
So tell us about prepping before you get on stage. Do you prepare, or you just wing it every time?
No, I'll prepare. I do. But, now I feel like, I've just been off the, before I say that, Elsie's this cutie in Ottawa who I grew up with. And when we were in high school in Ottawa, Elsie could forge the notes for us to get out of school. So we used to go to her. She had a pad in her locker. She read them like the teacher. So if she's listening, and then, yeah, I'll prep. I'll prep. I always prep. Now I haven't been on stage so long. I don't know what prepping is. We just did a show March 1st with Frank, and we did a show in LA March 1st. She's laughing. Yes, I did. She did. I'll never forget it, And we did a show March 1st in LA, and that was the last show I did in a theater setting. And it's funny because I've been doing it so long and so often, you still have notes, and I've been working on new material. So when you get new material, you go to clubs to work it out, and then you try to do it in the show, and then you have your new show.
But right now, I got to tell you, man, it's been like a long time. I don't even know what sex is like anymore. I don't know what nothing's like. You know, I got my Beth here every day coming up here, and I mean, you got me set that. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I think a lot of people are like, anything that was normal is abnormal now. You know,
I do not disagree. Tell us about your travel. So you traveled with Russell Peters before.
Yeah.
With a half your Little Angelo Big Canada show. Is that it?
Yeah, that was one of the shows I done. About 6 years ago, I guess it was. That was in Canada, and I went on George Strombolopoulos' show.
That's right. I saw that.
To promote it, and I had a movie called Fred and Vinnie, so they both come out at the same time. So this Malaka in LA said, we need a catchphrase for you. So he said, how about Little Angelo's Big Canada show? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Okay. You know, they always try to do things like you should do things, have a catch for it or do something like that. And so we did it. We did a tour, small theaters around Canada. That was a lot of fun, actually. And yeah, that was about, so there's different tours. The last one we just did was Evil Eye Comedy. So hi Luch, George was there and all these people I see. And we did a show called Evil Eye Comedy, and that was in we did one in Montreal at the Leo Center and Leonardo da Vinci Center.
St. Leonard.
St. Leo. And we did Hamilton, Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, and Hamilton, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Mississauga. So we did 5. No, I'm not catching a cold. I just woke up. So I just woke up. I mean, for you, it's 9:23. Jimmy got me up early today. I went to bed at 6 a.m. So I'm sure not. I'm just reading some of the.
They used to call me Jimmy All-Nighter. Now it's Angelo All-Nighter.
Angelo, I've never gone to bed before 4 a.m. But this is early for me. It's early, but you know, once the alarm went off, if I have to get up, I'll get up. If I don't have to get up, I'm not getting up. So, thanks. The shows, people that were there, and so now it's like now there's. I don't know what to tell you now. I don't know what shows are going to be coming up. I'm still a party animal. And you know, the thing is, Jim, you think as you get older, you think you'd slow down. I don't slow down.
Your Nevada are still there.
It's still there. You're still going.
You're Kefi. We call it Kefi, right?
The Kefi. Yeah, the Kefi, whatever you want to call it. But I toured with Russell. I did Russell's first couple of tours around the world.
Seinfeld.
What about him?
Did you ever tour with him? Or
I never thought he was that funny.
No?
Nah. Never my He's funny. He's funny. Seinfeld's funny, but if you want my opinion,
nothing crazy.
As a stand-up, I mean, the guy's a billionaire, and he's probably one of the most successful comedians ever. But if you're asking me do I laugh out loud at his comedy, I don't.
Who's your
Dave Chappelle? Dave Chappelle right now. You don't even have to finish the sentence. Right now, if you want my opinion, funniest guy out there doing live stand-up comedy for me is Dave Chappelle. Mm-hmm. The guy's funny as shit. He really is funny.
I saw him a few years ago. Plaza's all.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle. I was lucky. I got the tour with Vince Vaughn, Wild West Comedy Show with Bill Burr, John Favreau, Steve Byrne, Ahmed. I was touring with those guys, and. Mm-hmm. If you see Chappelle's last Netflix special, you can piss your pants laughing. Sebastian, too, is funny.
He's good.
Sebastian, I toured with Sebastian. We did the Middle East and Montreal. He's very, very funny. Finger fucking the Muppets, all that stuff. He's funny, you know. Adam Sandler's funny. I like a lot of the stuff that he does. I don't think Adam Sandler's a great. I'm just reading some of the comments here. I don't think Adam Sandler is a great stand-up, but I think he's very funny. Oh, and I got Jimmy, there's a show here. My friend Luch writes on Great Show Sunday night, CTV, CBC Global. It's on 140 different platforms to raise money for food banks across Canada. So all the artists
huge artists across Canada are putting the show on Sunday night at 6:30. So CTV,
I'll keep that in
CBC,
mind.
Global. It's right here. Luch, my friend Luch writes on it.
Yeah,
so you
I see
guys
that,
can
yeah.
watch it in Montreal or anywhere around Canada or the world.
Yeah, bravo. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the people that just tuned in, if you have any questions for Angelo Tsarouchas, live from LA, don't be shy to ask questions. So, Angelo, let's talk about your movies. What movies
Yeah.
have you done? Do you have anything in the pipeline? And so on and so on.
I had
Yeah.
I had a fucking career in the pipeline, and this COVID virus came along and just wiped it out. So everything, Jimmy, you're going to ask me is, did you have? Not that we have. And we had, I mean, you know what? A lot of my movies that I've been in, parts and bits, have come up. The one I'm most proud of is Fred and Vinnie with Fred Stoller, right? It was a great role to play. But now I'm in Prince and Me and Harold and Kumar go to White Castle, Mad Men, Blue Mountain State. They're all showing up now because people are calling me saying, "Hey, I saw you in Harold and Kumar. I saw you in Blue Mountain State. I saw you in," you know, lately there's a role that I was supposed to be playing in a film in September, but I don't know now. That's right. Somebody wrote here, watching Mad Men, Angelo's Bouncer Casino in one episode. Yeah, it was season 2. And what happened with the priest role? That's the thing, Bill. That was the thing where I play a show called Watching the Detectives that we're shooting in Toronto. And I play a Greek Orthodox priest who runs a casino out of the basement of the church.
Interesting. Okay.
And then that helps out the street youth. So at first you think it's Kobina, but then you realize he was a detective. I was doing that show with George Stroumboulopoulos and a few actors in Toronto. And then Luch said I was great at Indian Detective with Russell Peters. Yeah, I was great until you guys wrote me to get fucking whacked in the one episode. So that's why my friend Luch is hilarious. He's in Vegas. He's a great writer, by the way. He writes all the shows in Canada. He works with Michael Bublé. He's written with John Candy, and he's a great writer.
This with Luciano?
Luciano Casimiri. He's in Vegas now. He's Canadian.
But I see Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah. He's
like,
a Leafs
go
fan.
Habs, go.
You know, we're Habs fans. But I was an Indian detective with Russell, and I played Jerry Wax. I remember the short series a couple of years ago, we filmed it, and then I was the informant, but then because I was yapping off, I get whacked in the second episode. So the first one, I'm all that's informed. The second one, biff, you know.
Done for us.
And here we are. Here we go with the Leafs fans again. The Leafs fans are like cockroaches. They just show up everywhere. Mind you, I think Montreal, I hate to say it, Montreal sucks this year anyway. They really did. So the best thing to happen in Montreal was COVID-19. That team was going nowhere. And they still have Bergevin, so don't get me going with Amalaka. That guy should have been gone 4 years ago, but they won't. You know, but so that, getting back to the series, I was working on a series called Indian Detective. And if you go on YouTube, you can see the trailer. And we got approved by CBC as a series.
What is it called? Indian Detective?
Indian Detective. No, sorry. Watching the Detectives.
Got it. I'll check it out.
It's called Watching the Detectives with George Strombo. And I play this priest who, with George Strombo, plays a guy. Luch goes, I almost got whacked on episode 1. I know. I think you guys would have whacked me for my first scene.
Who is Jimmy? Nutty
Jimmy,
Greek, the Nick and Jimmy Show.
The Nick
I'm
and Jimmy Show.
And Nick is watching right now.
Nick, so I don't know where Nick went. Nick's an alcoholic. He couldn't wake up today. So we got Jimmy. And we're on the Nick and Jimmy Show. So,
So tell us more, Angelo. Angelo.
Ange, call me whatever you want. Malaka, you call me whatever.
Malaka.
I don't care. Sure.
I think we have a common friend called Steve Vidono. You know Steve Vidono?
Steve, yeah. From, when's the last time I saw Steve? I think Steve also knows my brother, doesn't he? He knows my brother Mike in Montreal.
What's your brother's name?
Mike. My brother Mike
There you
drives motorcycles. We did a lot of, I shot a lot of films in Montreal. My brother did acting too, one of his many careers. So we filmed Art of War in Montreal. I filmed Art of War was Wesley Snipes. I filmed with Jason Bateman and Jim Belushi in Montreal. We filmed One Way Out, not No Way Out or One Way Out. I can never remember the title of it. The Intruder with Natasha Kinski, Charlotte Gainsbourg, that was filmed in Montreal. And there's another film I did with Stephen Baldwin. And we filmed it way down to Montreal. I played a scuzzy hotel like manager at night. It's like a bordello, and I'm eating chicken, and he brings me money.
I'm drinking water, by the way.
Yeah, Full Circle Fitness, a cafe. So Full Circle Fitness. So what?
And Nick right there, Kriparaco style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's an insider.
I
we have a
sure
common friend called Peter Kriparakos, and you look identical.
With Peter Kriparakos. He sounds like he's a creep. Peter Kriparakos.
Pretty much.
I like when Nico says, hey, Malacca, when you come back to Toronto, I'll tell you when, Malacca, when they open the borders. I can't go. I'm not even going to Subway here. How am I going to go to Toronto? I can't even go to the gas station. Everything's closed. We're on complete lockdown. So that's why.
But are they opening up soon? Because there's a couple of states that are opening up.
Not here. They're not opening. Not here. They're not. They're all paranoid here. This is California, dude.
What are you?
They're opening in most of the states, but they haven't found a cure for this, and all these Vlachi are going out. So it's
here's a magic question. Who do you think is doing a better job, Trudeau or Trump?
Look, here's the difference. I think there's only 37 million people in Canada. There's 40 million people just in California. So population-wise, we're 10 times bigger in the States.
Of course.
I think the Canadians got ahead of it quick.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got money in the bank. Canada's a rich country. It seems to me, but I have friends in Ottawa. Psaltis at our church in Ottawa died of COVID-19.
Oh, shit. Sorry about that.
39 years old.
Really?
He was young.
Was he sick? No. Was he sick pre-existing?
No, I don't think he had it. When they did my uncle's funeral at Skit last year in Ottawa, he was a Psalti. He looked fine. He had a couple of pounds on him, but no big deal. But I think, but then tell me who is doing, how do you, it's an invisible enemy. So I guess they're going to politicize it as much as they can. I think Trudeau and Trump have one thing in common. They're both narcissists. So it's really about how they look.
Yeah.
I'm not taking a swipe at Trudeau or the president of the United States of America. But I think whoever you're going to put in, it's not on skilo vriso anywhere, you know.
Yeah. If they do something right, they're going to find something else they did wrong, and
yeah, and
nobody is ever happy. Yeah, right.
Right, and I think that's what's happening here now. And I think now the problem in the States is that the Republicans are getting antsy. People want to go back to work. They haven't found a solution for this, and I agree with Nutty Greek culling the Trump herd by opening too early, and and that's what's happening. And yes, I think the Greeks, who's done a really good job, I know he's talking about it, is Mitsotakis.
Absolutely.
Because the Greeks are defiant. We're defiant by nature, but I think what happened in Greece, they saw what happened in Italy, and and they looked at this and they were like, you know what? They're looking what happened, Jimmy, in Italy, and the Greeks got smart and going. So
yeah, but also keep in mind it's not touristic season, right now. So
right,
so they dodged it in that way too.
I don't think the Greeks. Let me ask you this. So let's say they say June 1, we've curbed the curve, whatever you want to call it. How long is it going to take for us to go to Greece? And do the Greeks want us going to Greece?
Good question.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's not that I love going to Greece. We all love going there. I want to go. I'm supposed to go, as a matter of fact, in June to do a show at Pavlo in Santorini. Now we're waiting, Nazume. But do the Greeks want us to go there? Because maybe they're going to be clear and somebody's going to bring it over to them. Mm-hmm. And Nick Nicola said, what are comedians doing to survive financially during the COVID-19, and what will happen if it goes on right through? Like all Greeks, I have savings put ahead of time. After August, I think what you're going to find, I'm going to start prostituting myself is what's going to happen. If anybody's interested in a large Greek man. But that, I mean, it's one of those things where we don't have a pension plan. We don't have unemployment. We're live entertainment.
Self-employed.
Yes, the mayor of Los Angeles, Garcetti, said, hey, they said, for the rest of 2020, there's going to be absolutely no live concerts or performances in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And I agree with Pete here, who's on the thread here now, Jimmy. So for the first time, Greeks have done something right. Yeah, no, actually, for all the malakias we've done, and there's been enough of them, I have to agree that the Greeks got ahead of this thing big time. Yeah. How much am I charging, Kathy? Honey, for you, it's complimentary anytime. That's Kathy saying, how much are you charging? For you, cutie, it's complimentary.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ange. Your opening skit is you making fun of your last name, right?
Yeah, it's always been that. Yeah.
So for the people that haven't heard that, if right. You want to repeat it.
Well, here's the thing. If we're, this happened to me at the airport, and a lot of people ask me. They go, they said, Tsarouchas. They can never pronounce Tsarouchas. Oh, you're welcome, hon. You can never pronounce Tsarouchas. And when I was at the airport once here in LA, they added another T in my last name. So there's a gate change. And this is how they announced my name over the PA system. They were like, United Airlines paging passenger Tsarouchas. Angelo Tsarouchas, come to the... And I'm walking to the counter and go, it's not Tsarouchas, it's Tsarouchas. And all these people were staring at me. But Evangelos... But, the joke was Evangelos Petros Tsarouchas. That's my name, and my parents' names are Peter and Debbie. And it's funny how I think all Greeks love that joke, because what happens is that they can relate to it in their own names, right?
Absolutely.
So if you have a Greek name, you sound like you're named after a venereal disease or something. So that's why, and they still screw it. Yeah. What's your last name?
Tsiampuras. So
Tsiampuras. Yeah. Good luck with that one. For us, it's easy. Tsiampuras. It's like what? Tsipuro. Maybe that's where
or tempura, the fish.
Tempura. But it's funny. My daughter says, "Daddy, is it true our name means funny Greek shoes with pom poms?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I used to say. I used to say Evangelos Petros Tsarouchas. Evangelos, I used to say, means angel-like or angel. Petro means rock, sturdy. Mm-hmm. And I used to say, and Tsarouchas means funny Greek shoes with pom-poms. And the joke was, my name really means, what was the joke? I even forget my own jokes now. Funny Greek... Angel Rock faggot shoes.
What?
And you can't use, and I'm not, that was the joke 20 years ago. Angel Rock faggot shoes. You can't say faggot. That's not nice. So now I say Angel Rock sissy shoes. And then somebody said to me, oh, you can't say the word sissy. It's derogatory. Well, I used to say faggot, which is more. But I never, see, the thing is, when you use words, I find there's certain words that I grew up with. If you use those words in a mean way, it means you're racist or insensitive. Mm-hmm. But we grew up, and I always tell people, Greeks, we're not racist. We're just Greek. So when you talk to Greeks, well, Mavros titeli, or Kinesos titeli. Everything we do, when you translate Greek, it's just Greek. Or you can't say Mavro. But what am I going to say? The guy's a Mavro. You know, and then even here, yeah, and even those bits, you know, those translations I did, because somebody here asked that thing about Greek things translated, got like 10 million views on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's all around the world, and now remember when all those kids were on the beach in Florida?
Florida, yeah.
Somebody sent this to me. What they said was, you know, my yaya, who was 100 years old, used to say "Tohorio kegete ke putanes luzote," which means the village is burning, but the whores are having a shower. Mm-hmm. Which means they're not caring about what's going on, and people were sharing that all over the place. Oh, you know, he said, "Tuvlo, you're a prick. The faskilo, you're gonna eat wood. Katsastavgasu, sit on your eggs." And then you thought our parents didn't smoke weed. I mean, and you try explaining. The funny is, and the Greeks don't get it either, because we grew up out of Greece. Try explaining those jokes to non-Greeks, and they look at you and go, "What does exikixeros mean? 6 and dry?" And you tell these things, they go, well, "I don't know. What does 6 and dry mean? Exikixeros." I mean, shut up.
Yeah, you cannot
why do they say
translate.
like that?
You cannot translate.
Yeah. He said, "Tuvlo, you're a brick." Yeah, you're a brick. It means you're thick. You're dumb. But it's true, and I think whenever, especially for comedians now, Jimmy, because we can say things and people get offended easy.
Yeah, it's true. Got to be careful.
You got to be careful of what you say.
It's 2020, you know.
It's 2020, but again, I'll bring in the Greek factor. And
It's true.
Greeks are like, well, they didn't. I'll give it. I did a show in Boston in February. I was doing shows in New York and Boston and New Hampshire. And I did a joke, and I said that the Albanians in Greece are like the Mexicans in California in regards to who does all the remedial jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like all the labor jobs, everything. And a woman was there. She goes, I feel offended. I'm half Albanian, half Greek, and my kids are half Albanian. Now, first of all, I never brought your kids into it. I never said Albanians were stupid or lazy. I said the Albani in Greece, like the Bulgarians, are the laborers because the Greeks are too good to do those jobs.
Yeah.
And I said the same in California. So this woman got offended from what I said. I'm in a room of about 500 Greeks, and she's telling me she's half Albanian, half Greek. But her husband's Greek, I guess. So at no point did I make a derogatory, but all she heard was Albanians being compared to Mexicans, which is true, because that's what comedians do. We talk about the truth. And then she started on me. And I said, you know, I said to her, she got on my nerves. And then she said to me, I said to her, how do Albanians make a Greek omelet? And she goes, how? I go, they start off by stealing 3 eggs. And the crowd started laughing. I said, because these are things that happen. And she got offended and she started calling me racist. And I said, look, facts are facts. I'm not paying my job is, I didn't say anything bad specifically about you or your family or your kids. But when I say to people, Greeks are combinadore, we're always thinking how to do things with the cash. That's the truth. So if you're going to tell me now, if you tell Greeks, they're going to say yes. We're not going to say no. Greeks don't accept bribes, and we don't do things like that. Dude, I'm a Greek from Montreal. Trust me, I know how these things work. You know how it works. We all know how it works.
Of course.
Let's not bullshit each other by saying that, you know, these things don't happen. You know, and that's exactly what it is. So I think the problem is, and somebody wrote it here too, like our immigrant parents that came to America, to Canada, you know, there's a lot of things. There's a funny joke. It reminds me of a funny joke in Montreal. years ago, my mom or dad told me this. My mom is from Italy, so my mom has more humor. My dad was like, "Metodicano, let's go kill shit, rabbits, lagoose and shit." He was like, so I remember in Montreal on the 80 is on Park Avenue, the bus, and this woman got on the bus, and she wanted to go somewhere, and the driver was pointing. She goes, "Park Extension." And the driver was pointing, to the little denique where you put the money in.
Yes.
He goes like this, and she goes, "Park Extension." She's trying to go to Park Extension. He kept pointing to the thing to put money in it. So what does she do? She reaches down into the little denique. She goes, "Park Extension," into the denique. Like, he thought he meant Park Extension. And then the guy's like, "Okay, just go on the bus." I did.
That was a good one.
I love those stories. There's another one in Montreal, and I talk about those jokes in my act. And there's another one in Montreal where, there's a certain time of the year where the Greeks eat the kokora,
Yeah.
the rooster. And the Greek lady went to the butcher shop, and she didn't know how to say rooster in English, the kokora. So she went to the butcher and she goes, "I want to buy the gokora." And the butcher goes, "What? Do you want to buy what? The gokora." And then she goes, "I want to buy the husband of the chicken." I want to buy the husband of the chicken. It sounds like a horror film. The husband of the chicken. She couldn't say rooster, so she said, "I would like to buy the husband of the chicken." It's hilarious. So are we not going to laugh at that? These are things that happen. The husband of the chicken. That's what makes comedy. That's what makes us who we are.
I totally agree. Nick wrote here, "I saw your stand-up on overweight people in denial."
Yeah, it's true. And that's coming. That stuff's going to come back again. Those are like overweight people. It's like, like when people say, "I don't know why I'm fat. All I had today was an apple. All I had was an apple stuck inside a pig's mouth." The apple in my laka. You ever talk to Greeks? Then if I got police, then if I yes. Well, how come you're 400 pounds?
Oh my God.
The thyroid it's your mouth roid, Thea. You ever see Greek women at a wedding? You ever see the Greek? At the end of the night they have the trapezio, the glika, and there's my Thea. Greek women, when you go, there's always too many glika, so they give you the styrofoam container. So how does styrofoam work? You fill up one side, Jimmy, and you close it.
Mm-hmm.
Not for Greek women. They fill up both sides and wrap it with saran wrap. And they're coming out of the equisa at the wedding. And I saw my Thea once. Then man, I hit to Theo in Theo Moriguruna. You're gonna go there, that Arixie's there, it's Deepless and shit. She's telling me it's for my uncle who's diabetic. She's going to fit it up. Her ass can't even fit in the screen anymore. But speaking of Deepless, man, I miss Deepless. I love Aphrodite Bakery in Montreal. They make good stuff there.
Well, they're still open, these people. They're still open.
I imagine it's an essential service.
I think so, yeah. No. I'm saying in general.
What? And yeah. It's like, now that I'm talking to you, you know what I really miss? I wish right after this we could go to Schwartz or Lester's or Rubens and get a nice Mile High smoked meat sandwich, man. I freaking miss that.
Even the
so
liver.
Good. People who are watching in Montreal, just get a sandwich, have it, eat it for me. Go to Rubens, Schwartz, or Lester. All Jewish delis run by Greeks, and have one. It's true, though. You go to Jewish delis, it's all Greeks running them now. Except for Schwartz with my friend Frank Silva. Good guy, Frank. I wish you got it. So good, right, Elsie? It's so good, man. I love I love those.
So, and let's say somebody that wants to get involved in the comedy business. How hard is it? How hard is it?
Don't. Get another job. Look what's going on now. I'm unemployed. I'm not making lafta. I'm unemployed. Look, listen, it's like anything. if you really want to do it, the secret is get on stage as much as you can. There's no formula.
Practice makes perfect.
And it's like if you want to get into this game called comedy, you got to get on stage as much as you can. I always tell people, especially younger people, I always say, if you really want to do it, do it. But there's no shortcut. You got to keep doing it. Sometimes you get lucky. Somebody sees you, they like you, whatever. But look, somebody said I'm making fried scrambled eggs with feta. That's good.
That's
too.
great. Or like a stripper on stage.
Yeah,
like
remember Elsie? Elsie, you're right. We used to go with John there to Schwartz's Delicatessen. It was good. Or like a stripper. But the truth of the matter is, Jimmy, is you have to. The thing about any type of profession you want to do, really, you got to put the time in. I've been doing this for a long time, and I love doing it. I still love doing it. I make fun of making fun of it, but I really do love doing this. I really do. But right now, okay, Elsie, shut up. Now she said the rib steak. Fucking that rib steak at Schwartz is so good. You're asking me about curries, and she's making me hungry. That rib steak with the smoked meat and the bread and the homemade patatas and those kosher dill pickles. So good. I just woke up and I'm talking about Schwartz's. And the Walensky special. Yeah, I love Walensky's. The special with the salami and the cheddar and the Kraft.
If you really want one, I'll go pick one up right now. I'll FedEx it to you overnight.
Just go get one and eat it, Jimmy. I want you to do that. But yeah, so that's the thing. So I always tell people this. I'm like, look, if you want to do comedy, write some stuff down. Find a place. Montreal, you have the Comedy Nest.
I think it's open mic or something. Open mic.
Open mic. You got an open mic and just keep doing it. There's no. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. The more you do it, I think the better you get at it. It's okay, but I did a show in Toronto. I used to do the Fat Boy food review, right, Nico? I did that in Toronto, where I go around with these hot chicks. Because the only thing I like to do is eat and hang around hot chicks. So they asked me to do a cooking show in Toronto. I said, I don't do a cooking show, but I'll do a thing called Fat Boy food review. And I had these girls called serviettes, and I would bring Argonauts cheerleaders, Playboy centerfolds, hot girls that I knew, girls I was trying to bang. I'd bring them on the show. And actresses, and it was fun. And the girls, the catchphrase was, thin is in, but fat's where it's at. So you do things. So as a comic, you'll do different things. And I'm hoping we got some projects now. Right now, the whole world's on hold.
Yeah. Except Georgia and Texas.
Except Georgia, Texas, South Dakota, and Florida now are going to open up.
Yeah. You think that's a good move or a bad move?
No, I think it's a bad move. But now let's wait. Let them open up. I'm a Pethano and FT Malakis, then we know. It's a Groundhog Day. Let them come up. Hi, there's my cousin Vula in Toronto. Why do all my cousins have to be hot, man? I don't even know Vula. She does the SOS Foundation. She's a hottie. And she goes, it's too bad we're cousins. I go, can't we pretend we live in Kentucky? You know? But after an hour, kicks you off. I guess I wasn't paying attention. If you look at whatever you do, it tells you a little time frame on the top there.
Yeah,
I didn't want to end it like that. It was like we had sex and I didn't say goodbye to you or something.
So I forgot what we were talking about. Do you remember now?
We were talking about getting into comedy.
Yes,
and then we were talking about that, and then my cousin came on, and I said it's too. I hate when you go to a Greek wedding and you meet these hot chicks and you find out you're related to them. So I did that food show. So I did a show about eating and hanging out with girls, and it seems like a lot of other people like the same show. I guess today, Joe Rogan. That was the thing about Joe Rogan.
Yeah, we're talking about Joe Rogan, yeah.
And I know there's a great club in Hermosa Beach, California, called Comedy and Magic Club. And some of the best comedians in the world play there. And I'm lucky I'm a regular there. Hi, Sammy from Ottawa. My friend Sammy Lagis. He's always posting his breakfast stuff. And thanks. And I would... and Joe's great. I mean, Joe now is got the #1 podcast in the world.
Yeah.
So I don't know him that well. I don't want to be that guy. I met him a few times. He's very nice. He's funny. And his show is awesome. I listen to his show a lot, so I like Joe Rogan. And, you know, there's a comedian from Montreal, Mike Ward, the one that got caught for the language about that petite Jeremy. And Pantelis, who's a Greek comedian, was with Mike, and they were on
I heard
Joe
of
Rogan.
Pantelis, yeah.
Yeah.
The long hair guy, right? I think.
Yeah, the long hair guy. He looks like a Greek meatloaf. That's, you know. And he was on with Mike Ward. And Mike Ward, you know, Mike Ward was given a fine by a Human Rights Commission of Quebec for making a joke about that kid that didn't die, Petite Jeremy. The one that met he's in Quebec, the one that met the Pope, and then Celine Dion sang for him. Okay. And he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything bad about the kid. He just said that they did all these fundraisers for this kid. The kid didn't die. You know, so. And there's Yanni from Montreal, Johnny Fish, and there's a comedian that was on our show with me and Frank. Hey, Yanni. You know, so. But Joe Rogan, yeah, I mean, it's like Joe Rogan now is like going on Ellen DeGeneres' show. If you get on Joe Rogan now, is there a recipe for Greek meatloaf? I know the Italian meatloaf, Luch, is the one they make meatloaf with the egg in the middle. I don't know Greek meatloaf, but I mean, shit, I'll eat any meatloaf. I like it. I like meatloaf.
Meatloaf with ketchup, the best.
Oh, so good, isn't it? Meatloaf, meatloaf with tiganites patatas is really good, actually. You know, so
and feta, you cannot go wrong with it.
Yeah, it's good.
So
well, let's do one more because at 10:30 I gotta do this. That's all I'm doing today. I'm doing this other thing at 10:30 with these guys in Australia, and then at 4 o'clock we do the thing with Frank. So let's talk. If we can talk here 5 minutes, is good, man.
Yeah, 5 minutes. Yeah.
If anybody wants to ask anything, sure.
Yeah.
So
if anybody has any questions for Angelo, don't be shy. Ange, one more skit. Let's say your best skit, if you could share it right now. Your best joke.
I don't know. My best skit. You know, people like
everything is good, but I'm just
everything. No, but I like when people like it when I get upset, because it's like some people tell me I remind them of their Theo. You know, the one that gets drunk at Christmas or Easter. The tipo taisis. I find there's so many bits that I like. I think the bit that I think connects the most to people is my mom or our mothers. You know, it's like I'll call my mom now, right? Even now, I call my mom, and I'll say to my mom, "Ay, matika anis," and she's like, "Kala." You know, it's always drama. So that's why I think as long as we have drama in the family unit, there's always going to be comedy. I don't know if there's any specific thing, Jimmy, that I like.
Yeah.
But there's just so much, you know.
Let's talk about relationships. And Nick had a good one here. Third marriage, how's it going? Advice on a relationship.
Oh, great, yeah, great. Third and final. Because if this doesn't work out, then I'm going to Greece to work in the monastery. I'm going to chase goats around for somebody here said, question, Ange, why LA? Would love to have you back home. I'll tell you why LA. It's going to be 90 degrees here in LA today. And my wife's from LA. So, I mean, that's the reason LA is, I'm in the entertainment business. It's a natural progression. So that's why I ended up in LA. And my wife's from here. We have a daughter, you know, and this is home for me now. But I mean, home for me is always going to be Canada. But
Montreal.
But yeah, relationships. I mean, I make fun of my wife all the time. She knows it. And people say to her, you know, I miss Canada. I love Canada. Canada's still my home. I just prefer to be here between, October and April. I'd rather be in Canada South.
Let's talk about the Greek lesbian. Is that it? Somebody posted.
Yeah, Spartan lesbian. Well, the joke is, my dad's from Sparty, my mom's from Lesbo. I'm a Spartan lesbian. That was in Ottawa. And that's why I tell people I'm a Spartan lesbian, because that's what I am. And people will laugh, you know. He goes, I know you're married. Yeah, there's a small intermission between the first and third one, but I never talk about it. I married. Anyways, I won't bring it up. I won't talk about that one, but it doesn't matter, Luch. It's yeah. Tell you another time. But
Excellent.
yeah. So the truth of the matter is, is that met the right woman. We're here. It's good. We're good. You know, and I think that's where it's at right now. You find somebody. The best part now is that try to be with somebody compatible that you don't want to kill each other. Then you know you're with the right person.
Excellent.
Then you know you're with the right person.
So, Ange, thank you for your time. I
I'm
really
married up.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Jimmy. The Nick and Jimmy show. I love the show, the Nick and Jimmy show, and there's no Nick. It's like fuck Nick.
It's
just
right
the
here.
Jimmy show.
Right here, the dead body behind me. Right
The dead body behind is Nick. Yeah, Nick, who used to be on the show. But thanks for having me on your show. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody coming down, man.
Thank
and
you.
keep
And next
well.
time you're in Montreal, let's connect.
Let's connect for sure. Okay, buddy. Take care.
So,
bye,
ladies
guys.
and gentlemen, follow Angelo and follow the Nick and Jimmy show. Thank you.
Yeah, Big
We'll
Edge Comic and Nick and Jimmy show is great combo.
And your YouTube
Thanks.
channel. Talk to us about your YouTube channel.
Well,
How can somebody follow you?
Just go to Angelo Tsarouchas. You'll see the YouTube. There's a lot of videos there on the YouTube channel, and I posted a whole bunch of stuff up there. So go to it and see where it is.
Sounds good,
It's
man.
at
Stay
Angelo
safe.
Tsarouchas.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Take
Bye-bye
care.
now. Bye-bye.
Ciao, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.